of the screens. And we're live. So, hi everyone. So, as you see, we're a little army right now. I don't know what happened. There's about 4 or 5 of us. Do we count the cat? Should we count the cat?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a
part
of the show.
Oh, I forgot we're on the internet. So since it's pretty much a space we created for internet, we definitely should count him. It's how it works. Hey, so welcome everyone to Le Chicken. We should always say Le Chicken with a French accent of somebody who speaks English, or the opposite, like Le Chicken. And essentially, it's a show about tech and Montreal and the ecosystem and everything we love in that very specific Venn diagram. So if you're joining right now, somehow that's because you love tech and Montreal and things around. So we have a huge show, and the good news is that for this show, I'm not gonna do it. Vacation day, I guess. So we have some help from Cici. Cici, so you're gonna do the show this time, right? That's the plan.
I am.
So we're in the lobby section. The show will start in 5 minutes. So what do you have in mind for the people who in about 5 minutes?
Well, first of all, thank you, Farah, for agreeing to co-host with me this week. I'm really excited with the content that we have today. Today is more kind of like a COVID-19 kind of research, more for the people on the science side, or if you're interested in learning more about sort of like the science stuff that's going on in Montreal. My cat is gone, so my credibility has lowered significantly. But hopefully this time he won't walk across the screen like he did last time.
Yeah, we had horrible reviews last time, No. So, okay, so in that case, we have a few minutes, so let's do a quick roundup because there's so many of us on the screen. How's everybody doing? Because that's been a huge week. Dennis, how was your week?
Yeah, it's good. We've got a lot of exciting stuff happening with Creative Collisions. Launching a bunch of Facebook ads, tracking all that stuff. It's keeping my side pretty busy, and it's a lot of data. But that's nothing new for technology and the internet, is it?
Always more data. Elias, how are things on your side? I think we lost Elias. Elias will come back.
That's how he feels.
Well, Farah, how's things on your side?
Things are good. Busy, lots going on in the life sciences sector. So yeah, there's going to be Creative Collisions next week. We've been working on finding some really amazing companies and startups to join that event, and lots going on in the life sciences sector. That's
nice. And Alejandro, you look relaxed, like you barely have anything going on these days, right?
No, life is easy.
So let me guess. You're working on Creative Collision?
I've been doing some Creative Collision this week, and actually I cannot believe that it's already Friday. It seems as if it was Monday morning. And if I look back into time and see when was the last time I realized in which day I was.
So while Alejandro get reacquainted with the concept of time, there's one person that you probably never saw. Well, Farah is new to the show, and she'll actually co-host with Cici. I'm gonna try to. It's surprisingly hard to point in the right directions here, but there's one person. I'll manage to do it. There's one person here that we never met. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Leila Benhammer. I am an entrepreneur and scientist by training. I'm very excited to be with you today. I can't believe it. It's the summer already. It was a very busy times the last few months. Very excited to see you all talk about some exciting initiative that we are doing in Quebec. This is and very, very excited about the beautiful event that we have, and how this event can for sure help la relance économique in Quebec. Very excited.
Nice. So I think everybody at that stage mentioned Creative Collision at some point, but we also have, don't worry, other pieces of news. So as every time for the show, we start with a recap of the news, and then we'll go for the deep dive with this. I'll manage to properly use it's not because I lost coordination or perception of time as Alejandro. It's because everything is inverted. The last part will be a deep dive, and we'll get to know a bit more of those exciting projects that you were referring to. Oh, Elias, you just joined in. Do you hear us?
Yay!
How was your week,
good,
Elias?
I'm good. Actually, I think if you tell Alejandro how is his week, I'm like, already Friday. You know, usually people are like TGIF, being like super excited. Actually, I'm like, oh my God, it's already Friday. No, the week went fantastic. I'm here from beautiful British Columbia and hustling with Cooperaton, with Montreal New Tech, the creative college that is coming up, as well as some wonderful things coming up for our ecosystem through Cooperaton. And I see Farah here. We're collaborating on many, many things. And we're definitely all working super hard, I think, more than we thought, I'm sure, like during COVID, to contribute to our ecosystem, to contribute to our society and to our economy. And it's a lot of work, but the beauty of it is that like there is much more collaboration than before. If anything, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen so much and so much energy, appetite, willingness to come together, to collaborate, to try to relaunch the economy together. And I think, thank you, CC, for putting this together, because I definitely, and that's what we try to do, whether at Cooperaton, Montreal New Tech, and anything else, science and technology are amazing levers for innovation and positive contribution to society. So super happy to be here with you today.
Nice.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
so I'll jump quickly because I mean, we only have a few minutes for the lobby, but it's really nice, like, to get a bit of sense of what everybody's up to. And actually, that's a good point. Like, we ask everybody around here how they're doing, but I'm really curious to see how our audience, our beautiful audience, is doing. So just, there's one delicious chat option. I heard it's all the rave for the youngsters and the cool people. No, but seriously, just how was your week? Because everybody has such a different realities, the good stuff, the bad stuff. Share it up. Everybody, do this motion in slow motion like that. Go ahead, you can do it. So look at that hypnotic feel, everybody besides Elias. And write your comments down below on how was your week.
I'm actually writing my comments down below.
He's like next level. Elias is not, because he's not listening. He's already like tomorrow. So essentially, that's all we have for the lobby section. Dennis, are you ready to start the show?
Let's do it. And before we do, I just want to give a shout out to Malika from Paris, France. Would love to hear how you're doing out there. It's a world away from us, Malika.
Because Vancouver was not enough. You have to tease us from France now. Okay, so let's go in 5. That's a horrible 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And while Dennis is playing quickly and aggressively with all the options, okay, and 1. Let me restart that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lot Check-In, your favorite show about Montreal tech ecosystem and around, because Elias is teasing us from Vancouver. Elias. So essentially, we have a nice show.
We have our friend from Paris.
True. And so the good news is me and Elias not going to help much on that show. We're going to take it easy because we decided that there's 2 lovely people here called CC and Farah who's going to do a way better job for this special edition, which is going to be all about academia and research. And that's the part where I stop talking and I will manage to do it once, and I'll move to CC for the discussion. So Dennis, you can remove us, me and Elias, from the discussion. Altogether, it's your show. CC and Farah, you have the floor.
Oh, he cut off so abruptly. Well, thank you again for joining me, Farah. First, with the highlights for this week, I actually had this is really exciting to me. So I had the chance to talk to Professor Andrew Kirk at McGill a few weeks ago about his research. And one of the projects that he's currently working on is aiming towards developing a test for COVID-19 by basically using this commonly used method of DNA replication called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. So for those of you who haven't really heard of it, I'll give like a really, really quick demonstration with some pens. So basically DNA is stored in a double-stranded format like this. Okay, during PCR, there's like cycles of heating and cooling, and so basically what happens is that the strands split apart, and then each strand is used as a template for like making new strands of DNA. So we have like this basically comes in, and now you have 2 strands, and so this happens like exponentially. And so after like a few hours, you get millions to billions of copies of DNA relatively quickly. So you can use this idea with viral DNA too, and because this method is so sensitive, it would let you detect even super low concentrations of the molecule that you're looking for. And so we can use this to test if someone has COVID-19. So specifically, Professor Kirk's research works on increasing the speed of the PCR reaction. Usually, like I said, it takes about 2 hours to finish these cycles, but using a technique involving nanoparticles and lasers, they've managed to speed up the reaction to around 5 minutes, which is crazy, like to me. I was telling all my friends and they were like, oh my God, right? It's like amazing. Yeah, right. Like for people who know about PCR, they're like, whoa, I could do this in 5 minutes instead of 2 hours. Wow. So basically the idea is to have this translated into rapid on-site testing. And this would definitely help with Canada's coronavirus response and lessen the load on our frontline healthcare workers. So he and his partners actually founded a startup called Pronto Biomedical Devices with this idea. And I'm sure we'll be hearing from them in the news very soon. Meanwhile, if you found this interesting and you want to know more about PCR, you can check it out on YouTube or ask any of your first-year bio friends who have taken an intro-level course to see how much they actually remember after the final. So we have some more news. It's all related to COVID-19 stuff, this webinar. And so Farah, what did you find interesting this week?
So what I found interesting this week is a website called Clinia. So it's a startup actually that they offer a search for companies in healthcare that offer testing and screening locations. And so like it's directly connected to Google search so that anyone who's looking like kind of, adds in a search query, where can I get, COVID testing, whatever, they can access the data with Clinia health partners. So it's a reliable source of data at a national level on where to find COVID-19 assessment centers. And so far there's over 450 data points. So this is as of, I think, last month, so last June. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting tool and resource that's available for the general public who are looking, to more easily find resources to get testing for COVID-19. So that was an exciting discovery from this week.
That's awesome. My friend actually went to go, he was looking for testing sites. It's actually pretty hard in Montreal. At least he was the first friend that I knew who had to do that, surprisingly. And he said it was really, really difficult, to call these centers, they put you on hold. So I guess right now it's still there's overwhelming need for these things. On the government side, though, and this is past news, the deadlines have already passed, but the MyTax program and the NSERC programs have increased a lot of funding through the government to help researchers and companies working with researchers to develop more products that could help with the coronavirus response. So the deadline for NSERC, basically, they're going to contact researchers directly and they'll contact them before September 30th. And unfortunately, the deadline for the MyTax application just passed on July 1st, but we have definitely more initiatives and grants and programs you can apply to in the next section. So if you find this recently interesting, this is what Valentine always does. Time to plug our newsletter, which comes out once a week. And basically, for more information, you can basically follow us and we'll just give you everything that we find that might be interesting. For next week, or I guess it's a next week section, Dennis. Yes. So Farah, I heard that NGen came out with their third response coronavirus initiative. You want to talk more about that?
Of course. So what they recently launched is a strategic supply challenge. So NextGen is the leader of Canada's advanced manufacturing supercluster. And so the challenge that they launched, the goal of that challenge is to develop sustainable and globally competitive manufacturing capabilities in Canada for products critical to protecting the health of Canadians. So yeah, as you said, it's the third initiative related to COVID-19. It was launched a few weeks ago, so on June 25th. And so there's a webinar planned on July 9th, which is next week, next Thursday. And the deadline for the challenge is on August 11th. So we just wanted to kind of spread the word about this new challenge and to make sure that, if we have any advanced manufacturing companies listening, that they can make sure to apply and work to that goal of protecting the health and well-being of Canadians, thanks to this call. So it's a $30 million fund, which is, hopefully we can see some really great initiatives coming out of this. So yeah. Exciting.
I have another initiative, grant/program thing. So I found actually my friend shared this on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and the deadline was previously June 4th, but I hear that they've extended it all the way to September, so you definitely shouldn't miss this out. It's the 2020 Joule Innovation Grant Program. This way, okay, this side. And basically, Joule is a Canadian Medical Association subsidiary, and they've it's been designed to assist physicians in the pursuit of clinical excellence. And basically, keep scrolling. Yes, Dennis. Okay. Basically, they have all of these grants. I think there's 9 grants available. You can apply, and you can see in that note over there that the application deadline has been extended to September 13th. So you definitely shouldn't miss out on this. If you want more information, go on their website. They have keep scrolling, so many different categories, things you can apply to get funding, and don't miss out on this. For more initiatives that you shouldn't miss out, or just pieces of news, I'm getting the hang of this left and right thing.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. I was typing a little message, but yeah. So I think the idea is to present a few initiatives on the life sciences side on the Montreal In Vivo website. So if you want, we have actually a whole section on our website that's dedicated to all the activities, initiatives related to COVID-19. The life sciences sector has actually never been so kind of under the spotlight since this crisis. And so these are a bunch of articles, newsletters, events, webinars that we curated on our website. There's also a section more specifically, if you see it right above, just a tiny bit above the previous higher. Yeah, there you go. So the one that they're highlighting. So COVID-19 spotlight on the life sciences and health tech sector. So that one has a lot of information about Montreal companies in Montreal in Canada are working on initiatives, including using artificial intelligence to fight the pandemic. We talk about other initiatives on the research front. So if you're interested in finding out more what kinds of initiatives are going on in the life sciences sector, you can find them there. You can also, I'm totally unbiased saying this, but we have a really, really good newsletter as well. So you're more than welcome to sign up on our newsletter. We actually have 3 kinds of newsletters. So some of them are more like, if something really a big significant event happens, we'll send you a flash in vivo. Otherwise, it's like a weekly newsletter that we have with Info In Vivo, and Réseau In Vivo is more like for initiatives with the actors from the clusters, different companies in the life sciences cluster. So that's what we have. We have all kinds of other resources as well for entrepreneurs on our website. So there you go.
Well, I definitely think it's super valuable. Like, I followed the newsletters, and since I'm not from Montreal In Vivo, I can say it's a really valuable resource, especially if you're a student or somebody who's not super into the whole like startup entrepreneurship ecosystem, and you're just like, you want to start out with something sort of more familiar in your territory, and the life science and the blend, I really appreciate how you guys put that together. So thank you for your work.
Communications team. So
Hey, thanks. So how did it go, Cece? Went smoothly through the first 2 sections? Worked well?
I mean, Kaito left. Kaito is my cat. So I do not have the emotional support vehicle, but it was surprisingly okay.
It went well. So the next section we're gonna jump through is the deep dive. Is everybody ready? So we'll have Elias for this part. Let me just check. Elias and Lelia.
Hello.
Perfect. Hey,
it was great.
Elias, are you ready for the deep dive?
Absolutely. Didn't you notice that it goes way better now that CC is taking over this, and with Farah, they're like the best partners in crime for this kind of check-in tech.
Yeah, we can retire now. Really, our work here is done.
You know, when I started working and when we launched the lab and like the whole thing, my boss used to say, "We're building this for our own obsolescence." So I'm all that like hi to Federico if he's listening to this. It's true. I think like if you truly want to have an impact, you have to work towards your obsolescence and work toward like lifting others. So super happy to see what CC is doing, and like she's doing amazing work here. So, and that's just like on the picture. By the way, like for Farah, just so you know, she's much more complex and much more interesting than just what she shows on TV. Just as what you,
it's always like that. So let's jump on the deep dive. The deep dive, for those who are joining, we're new to the concept, is where we take a bit of time to go a bit more in depth about one specific piece of news. This time, Elias gonna do the interview with Cici. If you want to be there, Farah, don't go too far. We'll come back to you at the end. So Dennis, I will let you magically switch everybody. Click the buttons, click the buttons, click the buttons.
Which buttons do you want me to click?
the best buttons, the one to bring the guest for the deep dive.
Yes.
Layla, go ahead. Make me disappear.
Hello, guys.
Yes.
Hello.
So I'm very happy to be here.
Good to have you with us.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for the highlights and the beautiful initiative that we are doing in Montreal in the life science sector. I'm always happy when speaking about science, and and we are trying to push scientists, entrepreneurs, but we can truly understand their impact to solve today the biggest challenges that we are facing. It can be the pandemic, but it can be also other challenges. So happy to hear about it, and thank you again, Farah and Cici, for this beautiful highlight and the spotlight on the life science sector. So today, so basically, I am from District 3, so it's an incubator based in Concordia University. We are open to everyone that's had passion for for innovation, for entrepreneurship, and I'm very excited to speak about a new initiative that was fully funded by Les Fonds de Recherche du Québec that is helping the transformation of scientists to entrepreneurs or innovator leader, and giving them all the tools and the resources to create emerging startups that can change the world and have an impact. So basically, it's everything is online. With the context today, like you can just go over the courses, learn everything related to customer discovery, market validation, how to create a startup that is available on the long term. We have a new partnership with MyTax that is really helping us to fund this program, and Arbour Foundation as well. And we can, this is 1 year after 1 year of hard work, we can see like creation of a very strong startup that's had an impact in the Montreal scene, and hopefully, at the global level. So I am here like as an advocate for everyone in science that would like to, take the leap in the entrepreneurship journey. I think this is the way to have, to create something big, something bold, and by having the right tool, the right team, the resources, and also as it was mentioning before, this beautiful collaboration in the ecosystem that we can see now. I think something very strong will go from everything that we are doing, and I'm for sure trying to highlight every scientist entrepreneur that is working very hard to fight this pandemic or to work on other challenges that we are facing right now as in our generation. Very excited to be with you next week. I will also invite scientist entrepreneurs that I'm sure you will be benefit from their expertise, perhaps continue to work with them, collaborate with them. And I think that's it for me.
Cool. So thank you very much for this nice quick pitch of the Scientist Entrepreneur Program. One, I would like to highlight one of the aspects that you just said is that District 3 is open for everyone. And I think this is like really important to highlight. So it was the first or among the first, but I think the first incubator accelerator here in Quebec that was actually backed by university and at the same time open for everyone. So I think this is something we shouldn't forget. Like it was the first one always like out of the beaten path at a time where like 6 or 7 years ago, many incubators were backed by the universities and required the entrepreneurs to be part of the university. And I think they had this vision of saying that diversity matters, and it doesn't matter actually whether you're part of the university or not. The most important part is to actually develop innovation and entrepreneurship to change society. So I wanted to highlight this aspect, and I think it's key to remember. The other aspect I want to highlight, but also question, is when you're talking about scientist entrepreneur, and I like this idea of saying scientist entrepreneur because in reality, scientists by the appetite for research and the appetite for discovery and the appetite to create in a way have this kind of roots of entrepreneurship vibe in them and entrepreneurship DNA, if I may. Now the question is, why do we suck at making them actually transform from this kind of like mindset of curiosity, discovery, go out of what exists to actually create that value for society? What is the challenge?
It's a beautiful question, Elias, and we are working very hard on it. And basically, and the answer is very easy. It's science innovation takes time. You can't do anything like something new doesn't exist before. You can do it overnight. It's sometimes taking years. Like it takes perhaps sometimes 3 to 5 years just to create this new innovation and bringing it to the market. And we can see, and this is something that you can see it, but we are working very hard behind the scene to make sure that we have more investment, early stage, pre-commercialization. I know it's a big take, like taking a big risk here, but understanding that the cycle of innovation is longer than just, a software or hardware that you can create very, very fast. So changing the landscape of investments and making sure that we have more investors, that they have this appetite for kind of a risk taker. And this is, Elias, this is the truth. We don't have strong investment early stage. And this is something, a mindset that we need also to change, in terms of investment side. And this is the biggest challenge.
I agree. And Cici, I don't know what you think, but I will move the question. Sorry, Leila. I mean, like the question is for you, but it's also for Cici.
Absolutely.
When Cici, she's doing her master. She has like the roots of this kind of energy, intelligence to be part of such a program, for example.
Such a flatterer.
For Cici, but like my question is for both of you. When you were like in this kind of field, did you feel that you had the support to be an entrepreneur? Like and like we are a family, we're just like talking among ourselves. We can say the truth here because like District 3 is working their ass off to actually make those entrepreneurs a reality, but they're answering a challenge. So Leila talked about the investment side. I believe there is more to that than just the investment side. I think there is the importance of knowledge of what's going on and what you can be, because if you don't know what you don't know, then you don't know. And the second is also around talent and like complementary talent, because science by itself without having the business side doesn't work necessarily. And there may be other stuff that I don't know, to be honest. And without willing like to plug other programs, but like I'm lucky to be able to work in other stuff like Coca and others where we help build those teams or contribute to building those teams. So my question for Cici is like, what do you see is missing from a scientist perspective? Or like from a student perspective, let's say, who's going into this science path?
Well, coming from like my undergrad was in science, and right now my master's is also in science. I think one of the problems right now in universities for students is that like you're really focused on your own sort of like bubble, like as Elias would say, like people tend to stay in they work in silos. So one of the problems is like you don't really even know what you're missing out on. You can have like these great ideas, but then you're kind of like, oh, what do I do with them? Or like, oh, it's just like a great idea. Someone else is going to do it. But until you're exposed to like initiatives like these awesome things that people at District 3 are doing, like there's even learning about all those opportunities that we have going on in Montreal. Until you know about them, you won't really be motivated to act. And so what I think is really missing right now is sort of a way for students to become exposed to all these opportunities and sort of to have like their ideas, and then knowing that they actually have like paths they can take to like pursue these ideas and turn them into something tangible. And so one of the things that we're working on this summer is an initiative to address this. So more on that coming soon. Yeah, I don't like it when it's just me. It freaks me out.
Mais Leïla, dans les défis, yeah, we're friends of a phone, whatever. Dans les défis que vous voyez au quotidien, est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose que, or like, sorry, I don't even know which language to use anymore.
Let's go.
Hay una cosa que, no. Blague à part, est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose que vous voyez qui manque encore pour aider justement ce Quebec Science, qui est un magnifique programme, like it's an amazing program backed by the government with your hard work, etc. Do you see something that we as a community or we as an ecosystem can contribute to help you in your path?
Oui, bah, je vais continuer en français si ça vous va. Elias, c'est vraiment la sensibilisation parce que j'ai l'impression quand on est dans une université, les options qui sont, j'étais dans l'université il n'y a pas très très longtemps. Donc les deux grandes options qu'on a, c'est soit on va vers l'industrie, soit on va vers l'académique. On pense même pas à ce qu'il y ait une autre voie possible à part ces deux grandes voies, on va dire ces grandes voies maîtresses. Et donc je pense vraiment la sensibilisation à l'entrepreneuriat. Ce que j'avais aimé, ce que tu avais dit aussi, avoir des exemples concrets, parce que aussi faire connaître des entrepreneurs scientifiques à la communauté elle-même, c'est important parce que ça a vraiment une influence, et aussi la formation. Et c'est quelque chose, c'est pour ça que cette initiative a été créée maintenant depuis 1 an, c'est parce qu'il n'y avait pas une formation systématique des scientifiques à l'entrepreneuriat. Et là, c'est une formation courte, hein, c'est 13 semaines, mais ça crée un momentum et un désir et une envie de continuer et de dire, OK, je vais explorer l'écosystème, j'ai commencé à avoir toutes les ressources nécessaires, donc j'ai envie de continuer dans cette voie-là. Donc je pense que c'est plusieurs facteurs, et notamment, si vous pouvez nous aider, c'est vraiment la sensibilisation pour faire découvrir aussi cette troisième voie qui est l'entrepreneuriat. Et ce que tu disais, Elias, tout à l'heure, c'est vraiment l'ADN entrepreneurial, il est dans les scientifiques. C'est quelque chose qui est naturel, c'est pas quelque chose qu'on a besoin de leur apprendre. Il suffit juste vraiment d'expliquer aussi comment créer un business, et bien sûr aussi de bien collaborer avec les personnes qui sont dans le domaine des affaires, parce que la combinaison gagnante, ce serait d'avoir quelqu'un qui est très très fort dans tout ce qui est technologie, et aussi quelqu'un qui est un leader aussi en business. Donc, ce serait vraiment aussi une combinaison parfaite. Mais en tout cas, créer ce momentum-là, créer cette sensibilisation, et surtout donner de la formation gratuite, c'est un point indispensable. I will go back in English.
No, I love it because like you're literally, and thank you for doing for what you're saying. I believe in what you're saying, and I think it's true that we need to inspire first, to bring people together, to create the momentum for them, to inspire them and give them the information. If you don't know, you don't know. But you also need to be inspired to pursue that path and get the training as you're doing. And it's good because when we talk with the CC here, around like what we're trying to achieve as well as an organization, you're like basically doing that argument as well. So CC, you need to like do what you're doing. So thank you as well. And I think the work of CC is also contributing to the work of what District 3 and the Quebec Science Entrepreneurship Program is. And I think that's where if we're able to create a pipeline and we go from the university side.
I'll use my master, master hands on the switchboard.
Valentin,
Elias, we're going to continue that interview because there's some interesting stuff, but we have to close the show for this part. So for those who are live, you're already captive. You're not going to go anywhere. Just stay a few minutes with us. Trust us. It's going to be the good stuff. For everybody else, like on LinkedIn and other platforms, thanks for the show. If you're curious jump on the live platform. Dennis, can you bring the lobby section?
Where is Farah?
Cool. Okay, we have the space for one or two more questions. Who want to go next?
I want Farah.
So, who has a question? Raise your hand, like in school. Go.
You have a question?
I had the question for Farah. I wanted to finish the thing on Farah, but like Valentin is like too hard on me. He hates me, I think. Mais justement, comme Montreal In Vivo is like this cluster around life science and healthcare. Yeah. And you represent in a way, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but like you represent in a way all the beauty and complexity and diversity of this industry, from the big players to the entrepreneurs to the academia, etc. What do you see your role and challenges in what Leila just said?
But I think that, first of all, when Leila, I was backstage when Leila was speaking, but the whole time I was like, yes, because I'm so much in agreement with everything she's saying, like, amen. So yeah, we're working really hard, and I think there are a lot of synergies and intersections between what we're trying to do, both with District 3, but also with other actors. Our role as Montreal In Vivo, as the life sciences cluster, is that we're really there in support of the various organizations in the ecosystem, whether it's accelerators and incubators, or as you were saying, startups, SMEs, all the way to big subsidiaries of multinational companies. So we're really there to support the ecosystem and to foster opportunities for the companies in the life sciences sector to be more competitive, to work better together, to find more opportunities. And part of that is, we're working at Montreal In Vivo really hard to push for more early stage financing, to try to demonstrate as well to different investors in the all over, from all the way from VCs to institutionals, that it's actually a very high-performing sector, even compared to IT, even compared to other sectors that don't necessarily have that same perception of being so risky, because there is a perception of the life sciences sector as being risky, but when you see the vibrance and the richness of the innovation that came out, especially during the COVID-19 crisis, everyone came together. Everyone was so, active in working on solutions, working together. We've seen things that we haven't seen before in the life sciences sector, where it's starting to be more geared towards even open innovation companies that are offering, let's say, the recipe for their reagent or whatever for machine testing, things that we've never seen before, and that is starting to appear in the life sciences sector. Another thing, and this is kind of a plug, a mini segue to the Creative Collisions event.
Go.
For years, there was the push for telemedicine, distance consulting with the doctors and all that. And in a matter of like weeks with this crisis, there was a code that was created for telemedicine. And so that's part of why we thought that, there have been some advances and some learnings as far as, monitoring patients from a distance, doing remote consultations, that kind of thing. And that's, part of what we want to bring at the Life Sciences breakout session at Creative Collisions. So we invited some amazing companies, like startups. So we have, a CRO that's branding itself as a C2RO, which is a connected clinical contract research organization. We have a startup that works on home health, distance health. Too many to mention, but really exciting new things. And I'm really glad to have Leila as well with us in our breakout session. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I hear the enthusiasm of that event. It's I cannot wait. So the event will be on the 8th, right?
Yeah. It's coming soon.
That's soon. That's like in barely a few days.
Yeah. But and I really believe and I really hope that designing such an event is really like just starting. I'm really happy to hear. Is it Suda who's coming from C2RO?
Is it? Excuse me?
No, is C2RO coming?
Yeah, there's a C2RO coming. It's called Kiris Life Sciences. There's another
cool.
company called Hexoskin. Like actually, they
of course. The OG of
of wearables.
Yeah.
So
we have
anyway, that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's so honestly, like, and this is the beauty of our ecosystem, is that there is so many amazing people, and I'm not just saying this lightly, and thanks for the hard work, because Creative Collision is just like kind of like this base, and hopefully to inspire people who are in the room by those great leaders that you're bringing together, building those trust bonds and getting this kind of collaboration started. Exoskin, incroyable compagnie qui a maintenant presque une dizaine d'années, effectivement, comme tu dis, qui a mis de la technologie québécoise dans l'espace, qui était vraiment le OG de tout ce qui est IoT, wearable tech, etc. Dans notre écosystème. Puis Alexandre est un gars incroyable, super généreux de son temps, généreux de sa personne, and the true guy, like no BS type of entrepreneur. So we love that. We love to see that. And I think it's the spirit of our Quebec ecosystem as well. Il y a d'autres segments, et j'aimerais vraiment voir, puis c'est un des défis qu'on a, c'est si on est capable de créer cette recette-là avec des gens comme District 3, Montréal In Vivo, les startups, les grandes organisations, parce qu'il ne faut pas oublier que dans le monde de la santé et des sciences de la vie, like Up Innovation was there like almost from the get-go, because like it was such a complex matter, and like society also helps in developing those things. Si on peut maintenir ce momentum-là, inspirer les gens, they become entrepreneurs, I'd be super proud to be part of this ecosystem and our contribution as an organization to it. I think, and I hope actually, because Farah, we're talking for Cooperaton as well, I hope that we can, whether it's telemedicine or something else, but like maintain really like this continuum. So like in the fall, people who are inspired by Creative Collision actually roll their sleeves and start working with the Quebec scientist entrepreneurs, because we need also the business side. Like what I'm looking and what I hope we'll be able to achieve as a group is really bringing the business side of entrepreneurship with the scientist one and with the support organizations we have and the larger companies or organizations. We can create this recipe that makes it convert better with more ambition. On y est proche, j'ai l'impression. What do you think?
Well said. I mean, what more can I add?
C'est parfait. C'est parfait.
mais qu'est-ce qui manque encore? On est encore. I feel like in the kitchen, you know, we're in the kitchen, like checking and adding ingredients and stuff.
C'est la recette parfaite, Elias. Si on arrive à faire ça, c'est la recette du succès, tu vois. Donc après, il n'y aura plus qu'à la refaire dans d'autres endroits. Donc je pense, Farah, je ne sais pas si tu es d'accord avec moi, mais c'est la recette du succès. C'est magnifique.
Absolument.
And we need people to not be as shy. I see it like, for example, I'll give you a perspective in the backstage where when for a long time we wanted to do a more research academia edition, and I knew, because you know I do all the logistics of the show, I knew that this won't be so, as a popular show as the rest, just because research, people tend to still be a bit shy and stay within the research silos. So if you're still listening to that and you're like, what can I do? Well, it's goddamn simple. It's like reshare the content you see about research. Not all of it is the most accessible, but you're kind of a leader in your community. And if you take, and I have some great example in mind of some people that take some research papers and they'll kind of simplify the abstract, right? But and they'll reshare it in the social media. It will never be your most popular post. Fine. Your cat will win, CC, for sure.
Where is the cat?
But when you do that, you make that effort to put the research, to put the business, what's your ecosystem, you add something else to the table every time. So don't worry if it's not the most popular thing. Keep doing it until people get a taste for research, get a taste for business. And I think, what can we do next? Just be less shy and share your passion with the rest of the world.
Cici. She's actually
she won for the cut duty.
No, I have a question for Cici.
Cool. Yeah, Elias, one last question, then we have to wrap the show.
No, Valentin, go ahead. Question for Cici. Because like Valentin just said about don't be shy and stuff, and we're lucky to have Farah, Leila, and a variety of support ecosystem, and you're the kind of like scientist we're looking after, and like we're not trying to hunt you down, we're trying to learn from you. What do you think we as a support ecosystem, whether it's a large organization, life science ones, or Montreal In Vivo, District 3, and others to make it more appealing or like make it more accessible or more sexy in a way?
I think this should
For
be the last
students,
question
like.
because we have kept our guests captive long enough. So thank you for staying with us this long. I mean, honestly, I think just sharing it, the events, making it feel more accessible. Like there's a lot of the mentality that like, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur. Like, why should I involve myself in the entrepreneurship ecosystem? Or like, what is the ecosystem even, right? Like just sharing it in the most like candid, like no marketing, sort of just no frills, like this is what it is, this is how it can help you, and then just really engaging with like students who might have questions that seem like maybe stupid, maybe they're shy, like they're like, oh, I don't want to ask this because I'm scared of looking dumb or scared of looking like I don't belong, but like just approaching it in a way that we can sort of dissemble this attitude and make entrepreneurship for everyone.
Nice.
Wow.
So true.
Those are fantastic closing words.
Super.
Thank you, everyone. I know I'm like the evil guy with the timing, but you know we have to run time constraints. But fear not, that was an amazing show, and I would like, following Ilya's discussion, I would like to make more of those, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, specifically for research. And I so don't care if that's a show that will have a bit less viewership. This has to exist until this becomes one of the most popular segments that we have.
You just don't want to host, Valentine. You don't want to host.
Honestly, just like a little thing for everyone to know, and everybody who's listening and people who may not know. But like 12 years ago, when Montreal New Tech started, and we were doing demo nights for startups in a bar, we had 20, 30 people coming, and then it became 50, and then it became 80. And now we're able to bring 500 people in a room on almost a monthly basis. We have Startup Fest, that, by the way, Startup Fest on July 15, 16, but that brings 6,000 people. We have Expo Entrepreneur. And so we can get to that level of excitement and appetite, etc. It's just like it's hard work, it's collaboration, and it's enthusiasm. That's why we try to as well have this kind of like sparkle of fun, which I'm not always able to do because I go over time, and then Cici's not happy, and then Valentine tells me to shut up. So I'll stop. Anyway, merci beaucoup à toutes d'être là avec nous, and super excited to also see the diversity there. So merci beaucoup, Farah, Leila.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Dennis, I'll let you close. That excessive enthusiasm will be seen on the next show.
Oh,
that's a smooth transition.